Hey, we're back. Again, this is Laura Miller, and this is Sheen Talk Live. We have the coolest guest coming up next. Ladies, you want to make sure that you tune in for this one. Hello, hi, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's safe and well, and you are enjoying today's broadcast because it has been super duper fun. I just know that you guys are going to really enjoy our next guest. I can't wait. I see that we have a request that just came in. We are saving that request for our next guest. So, yeah, it's real. It's going down, guys. I'm going to try to pin who we got coming up next to our comments here. Give me a quick second to work that out. Thank you. My earrings are from Bold Addictions. You can find them on Instagram. I love her line. I love everything about her jewelry. It's amazing. Check her out. It's Bold Addictions. The owner is a lovely lady named Candy B. Check her out. So again, we are waiting on Greenleaf's own Lamman Rucker. I don't know if you guys have caught Greenleaf or you see the show, but it is on its 5th season, and it's beautiful. It's an extravaganza. We love the show. Hey, Essie Marie, how you doing? So again, our guest is coming in a little bit. So in the meantime, can you guys tell me how you are and where you're from? Because I want to know. I want to know more about you guys. Come on in, guys. Yes. Let me close my computer real quick because it's like in the way. I need a larger desk. Oh, yeah. I definitely need a larger desk. Anyway, we're waiting on our next guest. Everybody's gonna go a little bananas, and I'm excited. I really am excited. I got to meet this guy a couple of years ago. He's the coolest, and he's really smart, and he has a lot to offer. So, Richmond, Virginia, nice. I'm glad you're doing well. Good. Yeah, so seriously, this guest is gonna knock your socks off. I am so excited. We are so excited here at Sheen. We are just, Baltimore. Yes. Yes, Hurt So Good. I love your IG name. It's so nice. I would ask you more about it if we had time because that is interesting. Hey, Chaz. Doing well. Nice. From Maryland. Nice. Good to see that. You guys are East Coast people. Oh, wow. Christy, you graduated? Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. You made it. Okay, great. We heard that Lamont is on his way. Oh, hello from Atlanta. Cook me up a notch. Yes, nice. I'm assuming that's a chef in the building. Chi-Town. Yes, me too. I see our guest has arrived. He's in here. Mr. Rucker, if you could go ahead and request to join, we'll bring you in. Oh, Hurt is your last name. Okay, because I'm like, what's that mean? Okay. It's cute, though. That's a double entendre. I dig it. I like that. So we're going to bring our guest in now. Teen Chef. Very cool. He's coming in. We're waiting on it to load. Hello, handsome.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Welcome to Sheen
Good.
Talk. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. What's up? What's up?
Nothing. So I was telling everybody that I met you a couple of years ago in Chicago.
Oh yeah?
You were doing cigars and chocolate.
Oh
For
yeah?
Kevin Bailey, yes.
Yeah.
So remember we had an interview in that little tiny little chair, like it was.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. And you know what? The spot was called they were Ruckers too.
Yes.
Remember?
Rucker Cigars. Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I need to get back up there.
Yeah, it was
That
fun.
was a cool little spot. And they were still like even like building it out a little bit and doing some other,
Yeah,
right?
they
There
had
was a
like the ladies'
salon.
lounge.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing some other stuff in the back still. I bet you it's like so much further along now. I have to
Yeah.
get back up there. I have to remember that next time I'm up there.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while either, so I don't
Yeah.
know how many renos they made, and obviously we can't go outside now.
I know, right?
Yes. So,
Well, you can. You just got to do it. You got to do it responsibly.
yes, I'm looking for Ankara mask so I can like do like a whole mystique. Like it's got to be a
Right,
whole thing. So, how have
right.
you personally been holding up in quarantine?
Hey, man, I've actually been trying to take full advantage of this and kind of just like build. I mean, I've been trying to do a lot more reading, forming an investment group with some of my boys, you
Nice.
know, putting other projects into development, working on another script with another partner of mine, um, kind of revamping something, actually an idea we had from 20, 20 years ago. So now
Yes.
it kind of deserves like a rebirth. So we're revamping that. Um, just discussing and exploring the different ways that we all kind of have to shift and reinvent ourselves a little bit. Um, how can you continue to bring value to what other people are doing,
Mm-hmm.
as well as how do you just continue to evolve and to continue to develop the gifts and interests that you already have,
Mm-hmm.
because some of that stuff you're gonna have to. How do you continue to do the same things, but now you got to try to find a way to maybe do them a little differently.
For
We might
sure.
not be able to gather in large number the same way we used to, it, at least, especially not right away.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can you still reach, different volumes of people? Uh, without necessarily always having to be physically right there to touch them, but at the same time, when that comes and when we still do find ourselves in the same place at the same time, what are those adjustments?
Yes.
So there's just a lot. I mean, I think this is really the perfect time to be creative and to build and to collaborate and to also reach out to other people. I think it's really easy that when just because things get tight, people get real selfish, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of self-pity. There's a lot of fear. Fear is dominating pretty like everything and everybody. So it's not that you don't have anything to be afraid of. That's what people
Right.
misinterpret, right? Don't
Right.
get
Exactly.
defensive when some people say, oh, that's just fear talking. You have to admit that yes, it's fear talking, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that doesn't mean you don't listen to fear at all. Fear has information in it, and then whatever information it does have, pay attention to it, receive it, keep yourself safe, and throw the rest of it in the trash, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a difference
Because
between caution and hysteria.
exactly, right. It's like the balance between caution and courage. So
Mm-hmm.
even though there's things to be concerned about, this is also the opportunity to not just fall into your own um, fear cage, but this is
Mm-hmm.
actually the time to, you know, remove those boundaries and actually even reach out and serve other people. Because it's really easy to just get caught up in your own mess and your own shit, and nothing else exists in the world but you and your own
Mm-hmm.
mess. But
Mm-hmm.
the real trick to you getting out of, like, removing that cloud, the real trick to even you feeling better is actually to focus on making other people feel better, is actually serving them, giving of yourself, giving of your gifts, your brilliance, your intelligence, your talents, your inspiration, all these wonderful things about you that God has given you. They're
Mm-hmm.
not just they're not really for you, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, like they serve you by you
Serving
giving them
others.
away. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's how all of your gifts actually come back to you and do more for you. That's really the cycle. So I mean, I've been in some really really tough spots in my life. I've been in some really dark places. Moments of loss and trauma and depression and all. Like it hits us all sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, life is not a game. It's not easy all the time.
No.
As wonderful as it is, you're gonna run into some tough spots. And I can tell you what served me every time,
I think that
was to
oh, I'm sorry, go
stop
ahead.
making it and just about you, and it's amazing how the karma works for you when you let it,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it's like shine your light and get out of the muck, get out the muck, get out of that stuff, man. Get yourself out the mud, stand up straight, take a deep breath, and even though you're still in pain, walk,
Yes.
yeah,
I
man.
agree.
March,
I think like what you said, and that's kind of been a
march
common
on.
theme today, is purpose and how you generate your gifts and give them to other people. And you've been notorious for giving your gifts away to us.
I hope so. I hope
Quite
so.
some
That's,
time now. You've been acting,
I
how
mean,
long approximately? We don't have to give it away too specifically, but it's
man,
been a couple of,
30,
yeah,
30 years.
30 years. You're not even that old.
I know, right?
So
I
you
know.
started at like 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, high school, teenager, you know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, when you think about it, like that's like I said, that's how long a march it's been so far, and this is and this is still early, right? Like,
Absolutely.
so I think that's the other thing. People have this really false concept of time, and they think, "Dag, that long?" You're like, "Yo, that's early in the march still." You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially since I kind of got a head start in a way. I got a fairly early start, if you will. But there's people who've had earlier starts than that, But this is how long the walk is. This is how long the march and this is how long the party is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we use it march like it's real intense and real like
It's like
political.
we could get
But
righteous if you
yeah,
want. I mean, we
yeah. But
got
this is
time.
yeah. But it's a dance. It's a party. It's gotta be. There's if there's no joy in it, then you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
If every day is a hassle, then like how's that working for you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, so you just gotta really understand that you gotta play the long game um, and believe you have what it takes and just go for it.
So I wonder this about you because, like you said, 30 years in the game is a long time. When would you say you had your biggest break? When do you feel like? When were you like, okay, Lamont, you really out here doing it now? This is it.
I mean, that really is an impossible question to answer because there's so many different you can't like what type of break, right? So it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like I remember some of the first times as a kid. I even remember once in seventh grade. No, I remember once in like fourth grade, fourth grade, seventh grade, like ninth grade, and then after that, it started happening much more rapidly. But I remember very distinct moments where I was "Ooh, like what was that?" Like how'd I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
like so these moments of like I won't say revelation, but for lack of like
Or
these aha,
buzz, like when you
right?
realize you were
Yeah,
becoming
or
somebody.
Well, yeah, like something's happening,
Mm-hmm.
or I found something, or I discovered something. So it's not really a moment of arrival. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's always. I think that's the misconception. Again, it's the way we typically, and no disrespect, but it's the way we typically ask these questions, or that we typically are taught to think in things in like this linear kind of way.
Yes.
We look at it as, all right, I start here and I end here. It's
Mm-hmm.
not destination kind of driven at all. It's it's
The
like this
journey.
thing that's happening, and as you
Mm-hmm.
go along, sometimes you run into something, or something runs into you, or you
Yes.
see something and you're like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then
Mm-hmm.
it's just this constant learning and discovery and exploration, and the stuff that soon as there's something new, literally there's something new. Now it's like a new beginning. So you never end anywhere. They're just
Mm-hmm.
constant new
New
beginnings.
starts.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about it is that's what's so amazing about it. It's these constant new beginnings and nothing ever ends. But a lot of people come from the concept that you start something, you have to finish it or something. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that's not cyclical. Anything that starts, You know, even we don't really fully expire. We just change form. We go
Absolutely.
back into the earth. We go back into the atmosphere. We go back, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
nothing really dies. It might expire or in a certain form or it changes, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But really the end of anything is really just the beginning of something else and something new, this new discovery, this new information, this new like step, this other like some other kind of evolution, transformation that's starting to happen. And the most exciting thing is when it continues to happen, you're like, holy shit, this is never going to end. And
Yes.
that's incredible. Like that's nothing to be afraid of. And the uncertainty of what's going to happen next should be exciting. Again, not something that you should be afraid of. So these
Mm-hmm.
moments that you're really talking about, they were just really moments of another door opening, sometimes a door closing, actually, you
Mm-hmm.
know, or
Mm-hmm.
it's another hill that you climb. But as soon as you get to the summit, you know, you realize that's not the highest there is to
That's
go. So you never
another one.
got to the end of
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's just now the beginning of a new stage of a new height or higher clouds, or you see another hill, you know, and sometimes what you got to do is go down that summit before you can even start to go up the next one. So, and such is life, right? It's again, we call it peaks and valleys for a reason. It's not
That's
like,
true.
uh, you know, like going down into a valley is a decline. There's
Mm-hmm.
all kind of other information, and it's another part of the journey just the same. If you're going down, part of the excitement should be, I'm coming down this hill because I'm getting ready to go up another
Because
one.
I'm going back up.
Yeah, you're not falling down into the depths of hell or something like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm telling you so much of this is attitude and just how you perceive how things work. So I mean, every job that I've ever had in this business has been a new door, has been new people to learn from, new
Mm-hmm.
people to love, new people to you know, work through different types of conflicts with new personalities, new systems, new ways of
Yes.
doing things, new habits. And it's like, you know, you discover also something new about yourself. I'm channeling different things, different people, different information into what I'm doing, and I'm receiving and absorbing and gaining all kind of stuff at the same time. So there really hasn't been any one definitive moment of, you know, like I'm here, because the
You still
only
going.
exactly, and the only moment that every more current moment maybe trumps the moment before, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I hate
Mm-hmm.
even using that word. I got to get that word out my
I know. Isn't
vocabulary.
it
But
weird how
every
often we
but
used to
every
use
new,
it?
yeah, I'm working on eliminating that from my
It's like,
vocabulary. So again, I'm even, that's another thing, right? We're talking about retraining, right? I'm
mm-hmm.
retraining myself even to do that. But yeah, but it's like, so yeah, it doesn't remove it, but because of the growth, because of the transformation, because of the opportunity you have to try something new or to um, work on some new experiments, each new thing, each new job gives you the chance to like it's, you know, to some degree maybe it's bigger. It's the only thing bigger than the one before,
I
right?
love that.
So I don't know. You know, that's really like the
That's
only.
actually like a real, that's
Does
the
that
real
make
answer.
sense?
No, it makes
Yeah,
perfect sense to me because,
yeah.
like you said,
The
it's all about the
the only
evolution
thing
of
that's
it.
gonna beat this
The
is
next one.
the most incredible, the next incredible thing that happens. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you can't even be there yet, so that doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
So
so
who
you don't
cares?
even, why are we even
No.
concerned with it?
Otherwise, you already start to devalue where you are because now this doesn't mean anything because there's got to be something bigger. No, like I'm living it. I'm doing it. This is like, this is the shit. I'm in the light right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're doing it. So, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know, man. So
these
much of it is it's
it's
between the
cerebral.
ears,
It
man.
is though, but like you know what? I want to know because everybody's yelling at me about Greenleaf right now. I want to know about anything, but they're like, yeah. So I want to know what you learned from
Hold on, you
Jacob.
hold on. You got jammed up a little bit. So repeat that for me.
Oh yeah, I want to know what you learned from Jacob Greenleaf because me and that guy,
I mean, just think about,
he's kind of a
you
hypocrite.
know
I'm
what?
just gonna say that. Go ahead.
If anything, I would love to ask the opposite. What did you learn from him? because that's really what I tried to do with him was hopefully really to kind of like to teach other people something. Like, what did you learn from him?
You
What did you
know,
get from, you know what I'm saying?
Jacob affirmed something that I already knew, or that I
Which was,
questioned about men as it relates to infidelity and how there's a zero tolerance type of situation working with
mm,
men. And that's just at the point of the last season, of course, like as it relates
okay,
to men, because I believe that he did so well, and he affirmed himself, and became a different person, and became faithful, and did all the action steps he was supposed to do. But then
right,
there's still also a conscious level of lingering pain that was there with his wife, that I don't think within the moment he was able to deal with at the time. Because I think
okay.
that people kind of, like you said, people internalize their own pain and kind of don't see outside of the full scope of it. So that part about Jacob just bugged me. Like, I was like, did he put her out? I can't believe him. Why'd you do that? But that's
So,
what I got.
so that's interesting. So what I think is also interesting is that we assume that we know everything that happened before the show started. You think that's
True.
the first time? You think that's the first time Chris ever did that?
Well, I don't know. Is it?
No,
No.
and it wasn't the first time Jacob ever did that.
Oh, so they just
Who
living this whole
knows?
life. This is just their
Who
life.
knows? Who knows exactly where it started?
Mm.
So what I think we can often get caught up in is the whose fault is it or who started it,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to what's the real issue.
Yeah,
One
why
of
are we
the
still doing this?
and we should have never done this in the first place.
Speak.
So, right? So why are people even in the situation to be in that situation? Why are they saying marry me? Because that's one act. Then the
Mm-hmm.
other act is, will you marry me? And then the other act is I do. So both of y'all were in a position to, right, to make a decision
Mm-hmm.
to do something or not do something. And even in that moment alone, neither one of you had the courage or the
Mm-hmm.
information or the clarity or whatever to be honest, probably to be honest with yourselves as well as to be honest with the other person. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you did and you thought, okay, there's uncertainty, we don't know, right? This is everybody just kind of takes the leap.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking the leap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about this show and the thing about so many people in this show are so much of it is about this honesty that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't being honest with one another. They're not being honest with
With
themselves.
themselves,
And
absolutely.
it just spirals, and the issues, the drama and the trauma just continues to multiply over and over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less about whose fault is it, who did worse than the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people will always be like, well, yeah, I might have done such and such, but when you did it, that was worse than when I did it. Lady Mae did the same thing,
I feel like
you know?
communication is a struggle on that
There
for
we
that show.
go.
Like
So there,
they struggle with
so
that.
here we go. So there you go. I think you nailed it. That's absolutely one of the things that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about what's really the problem, that's the problem,
You're right.
right? It's not even the infidelity that's the problem, because they were never really committed to each other in the first place. Just because you have a ceremony, and just because your
Mm-hmm.
mommy and daddy are the head of a congregation, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that the ceremony had any, was
Facts.
actually sacred. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you
Mm-hmm.
went through this ceremony for what? It's just a song and dance. That was bullshit too. So the whole time, everybody's living lies, perpetuating lies, telling themselves lies, telling one another lies. People are asking them to continue to lie, right? So my mother is forcing me to continue to live this lie. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm ashamed. I'm feeling guilty that I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in. I don't like myself because I don't have the courage to stand up for myself and speak up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting any support from anybody around me.
Nobody.
You know, I don't have a voice. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I can't live my life. I'm forced to live this life. So I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Since I'm here and I'm stuck, to hell with y'all. I'll do my little song and dance. And then right? Behind closed doors, I'm gonna do what makes me happy.
Hmm.
Essentially, that's always what people are gonna do. Even
Yeah.
if they're not actually making themselves happy, they're gonna do things that please themselves, you know, if they don't feel like they're satisfied, that they have the satisfaction in their life in
Hmm.
general, right? So it's not even really about the infidelity. The infidelity is a reflection of Jacob's lack of freedom, the fact that he doesn't have his own voice,
At
the
all.
fact that he doesn't have authority in his own life or even in his marriage, right? He's
Hmm.
still living with his mama and his daddy. He's not even allowed to have his own things. They dress him, they tell him what to say, they tell him where to go. I mean, come on. So at some point, you don't think that human being is going to be like, well,
This lady
I
likes
need
me. She
I
likes what
need
I do.
somewhere. I need somewhere to where I feel like I'm
Validated.
the boss, or
Hmm.
where I'm validated, or where I'm controlling things, or where
Hmm.
I get to have things on my terms. You know, that's human nature. So we got to be really careful how we repress people and right?
Hmm.
Box them up and control them. So much of this is about control. Lady May is all about control. And the irony always is the more you control, the more you don't control, you
Exactly.
know,
It's like the
because
illusion of it.
that's exactly what it is. This is physics. This is
Hmm.
even when two magnetic forces, you keep trying to press those two magnets together and you wonder why you can't get them, to cling, is
Hmm.
because, they don't belong that way. That's the wrong polarity, you know? So you're trying to do things and force things into motion or force things to adjoin together that aren't supposed to be adjoined. There's going to be a problem. It's inevitable. So our family is so guilty of that, as are so many other people and so many other families and so many other relationships and marriages and friendships and jobs and whatever else. And you got to find a way to like sift through, like I said, the muck and the mess, and get to what's really going on,
Hmm.
so that the whole thing can actually flow and function better, and you can flow and function better. So unfortunately, our family had to go through all this mess in order to finally get to what's really happening, so that now we can actually tell the truth, admit what's going on, and then we can build. Now we can build something, because
So
now the secrets are out. You
all
know
of
what
them.
I'm saying?
There's so many.
Yeah.
There were so many last season that was
And
insane. I was
once the
like,
and
what's
once they're
happening?
out, yeah, the whole thing falls apart. But at least you're like, well, at least we know we can't go any further down than this, because
Oh,
now
oh no, I think so.
everything's in the street, all the cards are on the table. Now we're playing for real. You know, now
Hmm.
we're now this is a real game, and this is actually a game we can win if we rebuild it the right way. So like that's where we are, and that's where he is like, all right, like let me finally like stand up for myself. I mean, when he finally told his parents off, a couple seasons ago, even when he stood up to it, standing up to his sisters, to his wife, even standing up to Basie, like everybody, that he's finally had the chance to be like, okay, no, I'm sick of this. Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Let me be honest about how I feel. Let me be honest about what I want. Let me be honest about what I think I'm capable of. And um, and this is what it is. So he still falls on his face sometimes, but who doesn't?
That's
You know?
true.
But
So
he's so much more courageous now, and he didn't have the guts to do that before.
he got his swagger back.
Yeah. And
He
that's
did.
so that's what I've learned about him too, is that no matter how hard you fall, there's always there's nowhere to go, but up. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and tell the truth.
So season 5 is it, huh?
Yeah. It's
Is
the
there
end of the
any
road.
way, like, is it a petition thing that we need to be signing? Is there
Yeah,
something?
I would say so. I think so. I think everybody should absolutely make their voice heard. We have all these portals, all this media, all these things that we're capable of doing to voice, not just voice our opinions, but again, have intelligent conversation. Like,
Hmm.
speak up. I mean, you are right. We are, all of us. I watch the show too. We're all the customer, right?
Hmm.
So just like any other place of business, or any other customer service line, social media is your customer service portal, you know,
Hmm.
or email or whatever else is your customer service portal. So yeah, speak up.
I
Let
was
customer
told.
service know what you want, what you need, what you want more of. Hey, why don't y'all have enough of this more? Y'all need to carry such and so and so in the store. Why don't y'all have these sizes? Y'all need to have sizes because I'm too tall or I'm built
Mm-hmm.
this way or that. Like, like I thought you said that this store was supposed to such and such. So it's holding people accountable too, right?
Yes.
So you have to hold them accountable for giving you what you need and what you want,
Mm-hmm.
and you also have to hold them accountable um, to take some responsibility for what they, right, for what they give you just the same, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
hey, you can't just be giving me anything, but you do have a responsibility to me, and I think it's vice versa. So as a consumer and as a viewer, you have a responsibility to hold them accountable and keep them in line, but you also have a responsibility to give them the information that they need so that they can better serve you. How are they supposed to know what that is if you don't, right? If you don't step up
Absolutely.
and step forward. So
So wait, hold
again,
on,
what is
Mr.
it?
Rucker. Hold
It's
on.
it's communication.
Melanie says, can customer service help her get you? I just had to stop because it
That's funny.
threw me all the way off because Melanie has been in here talking about Sharissa. She's mad.
That's
She's big
I
mad.
know.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
that's not in the policy.
didn't you see the
There's not
wedding
a
band?
there's not a customer service
I could have
policy for
sworn I
that.
saw a wedding band. That man, you
Yeah,
gotta follow the
that's
cues. You
right.
gotta see, like when we
That's
wave our
that's
hands like this, these are subtle allowances to
Oh
tell you
no,
what's
no,
going on.
that's just talking. Not intentional at all.
No,
That's
no, I
funny.
mean that's what I mean. Like that's what I'm like, okay, girl, we appreciate you. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I wanted to talk about you
Thanks for the love, though.
as it relates to petitioning. Now,
Yeah.
even at the event that I met you at, it was a politically organized function, but it was for a very ill-structured community, I guess I would say, part of the
Mm,
city, and
hmm
economic empowerment was one of the core principles of the guy that was running. And it seems like you've aligned yourself. You're a deep thinking man. So you've aligned yourself to certain interests. Are there things, like you said, we can petition for Greenleaf? Are there things that you are actively petitioning right now?
Oh, always. I mean, a lot of the work that I do with various organizations that I work with or board positions, that I have, we're very active, not just kind of locally and regionally, but I do a lot of work domestically. I mean, there's actually an event um, that I'm lending my voice to that's, happening in Africa. That's a whole, again, trying to mobilize, of course, aid and things like that, right? With COVID being such the predominant issue right now, actually not
Mm-hmm.
uh
It's
the
the. Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm always I work significantly. I mean, that's why I consider myself an activist, because it's about, a lot of that is not just being in the community, being active, doing things to help or assist or serve other people, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that service has to really kind of um, move over into policy and
Mm-hmm.
advocacy on some other higher levels, because there's things you can do, yeah, to inspire the people and to push for social change kind of on the ground, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to get into the mayor's office. You also have to get into, right, the governor's office. You have to
Mm-hmm.
get into, you have to move this stuff sometimes over into Capitol Hill, or, right, out through the media or through even the creative work that we do. So the other ways that these conversations and these dialogues and this change can happen is so that you're pushing at other doors, or you're initiating conversations sometimes that aren't being had at all,
Mm-hmm.
um, or you're lending your voice and your power and whatever momentum you can give to certain work, so that the things that need to happen, that you believe need to happen.
Actually
So
do happen.
that's constant. That's ongoing. I mean, we all know all the issues that we have, but I firmly believe that if you think something is an issue, then there's probably a reason why that bothers you so much. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why it probably bothers you so much is because that's something that you're supposed to do something about, you
Yeah.
know? So that's really what I believe talent really is. That's really what I believe, how purpose shows itself. That's really how what I believe, when people talk about things that they're passionate about, passion and complaining are sometimes a really thin line, right?
That's
But
true.
what you're doing sometimes when you're complaining, there's a number of things going on. Sometimes people are lazy, so they're whining about stuff that they don't want to change, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that is even information, right? Because you wouldn't be whining about about something that might not be a challenge for you, and maybe there's a reason why it's a challenge for you.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes what you're complaining about or even whining about is actually the information there is that's something that I'm sensitive to, or that's something
Absolutely.
that really gets under my skin, or that's something that I really think is unfair, or that's something that I'm absolutely not going to stand for. So if you're not going to stand for it, and you're not going to put up with that, then it's probably telling you that your voice and your opinion about that and your passion about that, or however, sometimes God made you that way so that you can be one of the people to help solve the problem, you know?
True.
So like that's something I learned, from a couple different people. And that was another kind of somewhat of a paradigm shift for me, because it really shifts your thinking to not just be somebody standing on the outskirts pointing fingers
Mm-hmm.
at what other people are doing. And instead, you have to have the courage to insert yourself into the environment. Sometimes it's inserting yourself into danger, or it's inserting yourself into somewhere where, yeah, there's going to be some criticism, or people aren't going to be, that happy with you or that impressed with you. But so
Mm-hmm.
what? You're worried about what other people think. You're worried about, the opinions, or
That
worried
goes
about
back to
rubbing
the fear
somebody's.
thing from earlier.
That's my point. It's
Mm-hmm.
about rubbing somebody's feathers. But but if you really feel like this is right, or something needs to be done about this, to me, that's more important. So the way we show up and the way we learn to show up for things is often the information is already right in front of us. It's within us. It's like God telling you, look, I need you, you know, and sometimes I think it's like our spirit is really kind of pushing us, and then we come up with all the reasons why
And we
we're not
find
going to
ways to
take
stop
the
it.
step forward. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You diffuse it. You don't listen to what God's telling you and what God's asking you to do. And I believe it's like it's disobedient, really, you know, and but it again, yeah, it can be scary because there are risks, but there are risks in everything. But the people that I've seen take that leap and make that move and do that work and fight that good fight. It's not just a matter of principle. It has actually really not only changed their lives, but changed others. So, I'm proud to have embraced that I'm wired that way too. Um, and so many things changed for me and for the people around me. The quality of my life, the people that have come into my life, are absolutely a result of that, and a reflection of that. All the information that I have access to is just now all the information I can give away.
That's
And
true.
people are always asking for it. There's always a place for it. There's always a need for it. You know, and I'm able to stay active and do really incredible, meaningful things on camera and off, because that energy and that spirit is what's always like. I mean, it's like vibrating in me
It's
every
it's it's
day.
optimal too. Like also, we will be saving this live, you guys. It'll be in our IG stories, so you can find it there. So that was a question. Also, I saw something about Africa Day. Is that what
Yeah.
you were referring to earlier?
Uh-huh.
So that's
Hmm.
going to be a virtual event. Can you tell us something about that?
You know what? I have to admit that I still have a lot of details I'm putting together, so I don't want to step out and misstate or misquote anything. But there's already a lot of product that's kind of going out, a lot of promotional information
Mm-hmm.
moving about it. So I don't have enough at my fingertips or
That's okay.
memorized just
We'll
yet
come
to
back
speak
to
on it. So I'm
it.
very adamant about not misinforming anybody or, acting like you know something you don't know. So some of the details I'm still putting together, but I've agreed to participate. But that'll be, I
Let's
think the
say
date
May
is
25th.
I think it's Memorial Day. Yeah, I think it's on Memorial Day.
Okay.
And
Lovely.
of course, the other household names, Lupita Nyong'o and Idris Elba are like the hosts of it. Um,
Nice.
and yeah, so it'll be except I saw Hope just popped in. She just said on YouTube.
On
Let's
YouTube.
see,
Thank you, Hope.
that's my girl
Hope
keeping me
has the
sharp. Yeah,
answer. She's
she don't
amazing.
play. She's on it.
Yes.
I just saw. She's like on YouTube.
It's like, okay, you guys, May
So
25th
yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah. So there's that. I'm doing something else on the 28th, which is basically, different artists and actors around the country joining forces through some incredible work that the Billie Holiday Theater is doing in New York.
Oh, wow.
So just agreed to, yeah. So we'll be basically doing an online performance, of monologues and readings, and this is all, from what I understand, it's all going to be original material um, from from real people who are telling their stories, but it's going to be as professional actors,
Oh, wow.
yeah, telling those stories and portraying these characters and sharing these perspectives of what people are going through in this time, and there's a wide range of input and emotion and events that are all kind of connected to this time that we're in. But so I think Love in the Time of COVID is what it was called before. They
Oh,
did something with
nice.
all women, and I think this year or this time around they're integrating, some men. So I've been one of the brothers who's agreed to do that, and I believe that's going to be next Thursday, the 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
You are
So.
even booked and
Um,
busy in
so
quarantine.
keep you informed on that. Because again, I don't have all this. So much of this stuff, so much is moving,
Yes.
so fast. I mean, I just signed on to do a project called Terror Lake Drive, as well, which is going to be like a streaming, um, you know, kind of short series, like the language and exactly. I think it's for Urban Movie Channel.
Oh,
Um,
nice. They have some good stuff
so.
on there.
Yeah, so there's like all this, that's what I'm saying. There's so much happening, that this people talking about, so what you been doing? Like, I'm not bored. You know how
Me,
much?
me neither.
No.
And I'm almost a little
There's
bit more
always stuff to do.
overworked than I was
For
before.
sure.
Like, it's like,
No doubt about it.
yeah,
No doubt about it.
that's media
So
though. That's
and
entertainment though. That's
yeah, but
because it's our job.
some people also they make the assumption, they separate themselves from us, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, oh no, that's because you're media. Oh no, that's because you're Lamman Rucker. No, everybody, like, if
Mm-hmm.
you get involved and get engaged in what's happening in the world, and you're
Yep.
using, again, the gifts and the skills and the talents that you actually have, like, you will never be bored. You know,
At
I
all.
don't, I don't, I don't remember, I don't know. I really don't know that word. I don't think I've been bored since I was like 5 or
Yeah.
something.
You
I
gotta.
don't,
It's
I
it's
don't really
different.
remember ever saying. I don't remember ever actually saying that word. Like, I'm bored. You know,
I have
because
absolutely nothing to
if
do.
anything, I'm like, wow, I'm not obligated to anything right now,
Yes.
but I'm never bored because
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable being by myself and in my own thoughts and my own imagination and my own, you know, envisioning and my own planning and my own, like, dreams and all of that. Like, I'm never bored. There's always something going on right
Mm-hmm.
here. There's always something going on right here. There's always so much going on around you to observe, to engage in. So when things actually kind of like downshift in speed or in gear a little bit, I'm like, cool. But then just as quickly as that happened, you start thinking about all the other ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
or have always wanted to fill that
That
time or
time.
find the
Mm-hmm.
time for something else. So anybody talking about they bored, I don't know what planet you're on,
They need
but
some hobbies.
you are definitely you have definitely just agreed to just not put your brain and
Hope
your
says your
brilliance to
calendar
work.
is full.
You know,
So
like,
hope,
and
yes.
like I said, and this is part of it too. And she be on it. Like, we work together to like move our passions and our, the faith that we have in the world and our gifts in each other. I mean, we've been teammates for over 10 years now, and it's so even you got to find healthy, partnerships. You got to find, you know, take the risk to, you know, ask people to run with you and to build with you and to,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
personally or professionally. None of us do this on our own. You gotta like I mean, and it can be work sometimes, but I mean, this is all what faith is. People talking about they
Exactly.
got faith and they're faithful, but they don't, do the things that are expressions of, of what faith really represents, what faith really means. So it's like, come on, man, like, let's go. Stop playing. Like, stop being
CMA, I gotta put my church
stop being
finger out.
scared, man. Yeah.
Church finger.
Okay.
CMA is serious about this spinoff question. I think she's asked it like 7
Oh
times.
yeah. So okay. What she asked?
She said, is there going to be a spinoff? Are you going to be in the
Yeah. You know what? You need to make sure that
spinoff?
you tell them over and over and over again, I want Jacob better be in this, in this next offering or this next delivery from, I mean, if it's going to be anywhere in the Greenleaf, you know what I mean? Like
Realm? Yeah, it should just,
ecosystem of
there
this
should be
family
some
being
room
in
for
existence
Jacob
and
in
in the
there.
equation. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I mean, I'm rooting for everybody. Trust me, I want to see all of us again in some form, in some
Yeah.
capacity.
And you know
But you
what?
never know. They can't make any. I'm sure they don't want to make any promises.
You
Um,
mentioned Lynn Whitfield before.
huh?
You mentioned Lynn, Lady May, rather, Lynn Whitfield.
Hmm. Yeah.
She is like, in real life, I met her. I probably talked to her maybe 2 minutes. It was the best 2 minutes I ever had. Like, she's like the most brightest, like,
I
she's
know, right?
nothing like
I
Lady May
know.
at
I
all.
know.
She is
I
the
know. I
brightest,
told
most
her.
abundant person.
I told her. I told her. I was like, like you stuck with me. Like
Yeah,
you
forever.
you
Like,
belong. Like there's no way
seriously.
you cannot belong to me anymore. Like this isn't. It's not possible. Um,
Seriously.
and Keith too. It's just like, yeah, man. You like. I hope you never take offense to me calling you Pop for the rest of your life. For the rest of
Yeah.
our lives, man. So. Yeah, it's that way really with all of us. I mean, the way I feel about our girls, the way I feel about my sisters, and so many other people, and these kind of bonds are they really are, lifelong. But the energy and the from certain people and the just the way your
Mm-hmm.
spirits have that kind of kinship. Yeah, I'm not surprised. She's incredible, man.
Yeah, she
So
like hugged me the
she,
whole time we were talking.
I believe it.
So we're like walking and she's like hugging me. She's like, yeah, I'm good. How you doing? I'm like, I'm good. Oh
I
my God.
believe,
She's
I
just,
believe it.
oh
So
man.
none of us know, none of us have any details. I don't even think that the network has any details about this spinoff. They're still trying to figure out exactly what they want to do, exactly what that direction is going to be. Spinoff is not the language. It's not going to be a spinoff.
Right.
It's not going to be a continuation. Like this chapter, as we know it, has ended. They've
That's sad.
told the story that they wanted to tell. Grace coming in and doing where Grace believed needed to be done, and
Mm-hmm.
her being the protagonist in this story of driving, you know, tr- to the truth, regardless of what the consequences, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
were. You know, that was it. And then it's like, okay, well now look at the the results. Like you tore this whole place apart.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we're in a place now where they feel like, okay, you know what? That's the story we wanted to tell. That's
Mhm.
the story that's been told. Time to close this book, and I also think like let's move on while this is hot. Let's move
Absolutely.
on while people do want more. And I think there's value in that too. We'd rather have people excited about, oh, y'all gonna, what's
Yeah, the
next,
buzz is good.
which is great as opposed to having done this too long and the people are like, Greenleaf, I
I'm
mean, it's all
tired.
right, but
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm over it, right? Nobody likes to do that. But we don't also want to let our egos get in the way and have that drive the executive decisions that are made. We do need to really, this is why I'm saying, listening to you all and listening to the viewer, listening to um, even the media, hopefully, is advocates for the
Mhm.
public,
Mhm.
not just for itself, and it's just like, hey, like,
Preach.
what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like what? Okay, so if that's not happening anymore, so what's next? You do have some you got something else for us, right?
Yes.
Because again, we hope you do. Also, we enjoy you, so we're looking forward to enjoying the
Mhm.
next thing you have to share with us. Three, hold on, you got a responsibility to us because we're not getting this from very many places. We're hoping that when it comes to quality programming that serves us as a demographic, like we can depend on you, right? Like it's all this stuff that people are actually, that's really kind of what they're saying. They're
Yes.
like, nah, Oprah, we've been with you for 30 years,
We've
you
been
know,
with you since the big
Con-
hair.
continue, like, that's right. Continue to feed us. We want to
Mhm.
continue also to support you, as well as we want you to continue to teach us, to love us, to help us heal, to facilitate, the conversations that we've been able to have over the years, with you. Like, don't drop us off. Don't bring us this far and then drop us off.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's how some people feel. But at the same time, I understand it from the other side, from the business side, which is, listen, this is an industry, and all
Mhm.
of these shows and all of these um, uh, productions at some point come to a close, and
Mhm.
and you all have to kind of learn how to move on as well. It's just as hard for us as it
Yeah.
is. Well, I won't say that. It's harder for you. It's harder for you than it is for us.
Yeah.
And we have to know that and be respectful of that. But
Okay.
we're just more accustomed to it because it's what we do. It's what we go through. It's what we deal with on a regular basis. So, you know, I've learned how to deal with this kind of
Yeah,
heartbreak, with
you
this kind of
adjusted
disappointment.
a little
Yeah,
better.
now, yeah, a little bit, just only because I've had more practice. So that can mean
Mhm.
I've got more pain, or that means
You're
I'm more resilient.
you're more
It's
resilient.
like pick one, and
Mhm.
both are true. But yeah, I've been through this a number of times. So again, lucky enough to say that I've been on successful series before,
Mhm.
and at some point my time came to an end, or that show came to an end, and people have always, wanted more. So that's great, and I believe that has also helped when people see me again or hear that I'm in something. They're like, "Ooh, you
That's
know,
my guy. Let me go
Lam-
watch that.
Lamont, I
Exactly.
gotta see that. Like
Mhm.
Lamont's in that. You know what I mean? So yeah, nobody wants to be oversaturated, right? But at the same time, nobody likes to be asked to, get off the boat, too
Yeah.
soon either. Or hey, everybody, I know you've been enjoying this wonderful cruise, but this is going to be our last stop. We got to
Get
let you
off
all off
in this water. Because that's
in the
what it feels
water.
like. That's what it feels like. We're getting
And
dropped
they're
off
not
in
even
the
dropping you off
water.
on land. They dropping
No,
you
we're
off,
not docking. Just get off here.
putting you in
Take this life
lifeboats and
vest.
like,
Exactly.
like, yeah,
Yes.
sorry, boat sinking. Yeah, So
Absolutely. So I
that's
want
funny.
to wrap, but I don't want to wrap, but I have to.
See, this is exactly what we said. Sometimes the
See?
ride has to come to an end. I'm so glad we had this time together.
Yes. Oh, everybody is so. We want to know when it starts in June. The fifth season airs.
You know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth again. So I can't.
Where's
I
hope?
haven't.
When is the season coming on?
I think they released the premiere date just now, but I'm not certain. So I just know it's June. I'll say
Okay,
it's late June,
late
but
June.
I have to look and make sure that they've already announced the premiere date. Um, and but yeah, it's late
We
June. More
got
than
June
likely
'23rd.
it'll more than likely be like a 2 night premiere. And
Oh,
then yeah. So Tuesday nights, and I believe we're at 9 now, not 10 Eastern. I believe it's 9 Eastern on Tuesday nights.
we
So
will all be
yeah.
watching.
Oh yeah, me too. I can't wait. I mean, it's been months since we shot it.
Yeah,
So we're all just as eager to reconnect and like, oh yeah, what happened? And like I don't remember, everything that aired already.
so it's like
I
you're
know a few things.
reliving what actually happened.
No doubt about it. It's
That's
like it's
amazing.
not just going down memory lane for us. It really is like
Hmm.
falling back into it, and we get just like entrenched in it, just like y'all do. I mean, when we watch it, we're seeing it for the first time too.
Mm.
Because when we're filming it, we're doing our scenes, we're doing the things that are relevant to our character and our storyline, but we don't see it all put together with everybody and the transitions from one scene to the other, or um, the music and the score, and you know, like we know the script, but we didn't see all the other scenes get shot.
Yeah,
You don't see it fully edited until we see it with y'all.
that's so
So
cool.
so now that's what's great. That's another reason why I'm always like letting people know that we're really on this journey together, man. So
Hmm.
I really want to say thank you to everybody for being here with me, with us today,
Hmm.
but
Yes, thank
being
you
here
guys for joining
with
us.
my Greenleaf family throughout this entire journey, man. And you know, uh, I tell people all the time to pray for Jacob. All right, hashtag pray the number
Hashtag pray
four,
for
Jacob.
Jacob.
Pray for Jacob. And I always, and I often put like, join the congregation. And, so I always ask people, yeah, like be part of our community, be part of our family, because we need you. We appreciate you. No way we could have done this without you. This show has, created a new standard for cable, definitely for OWN,
Hmm.
and, you know, has been, I think, a really historic piece of work that, Oprah Winfrey and Craig Wright and the entire Lionsgate and OWN network and Harpo, everybody, all the other entities and people involved can be proud of, like literally for the rest of our lives. This is really a crowning achievement
It is, and
professionally
you
for a lot
should.
of people.
You
And
nailed it,
yeah,
Jacob, aka
yeah, I
Lamman.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the road and on this journey with us, man. I really tried to do the best I could to, represent this man and this family and black men and black family and black love,
Mm.
black fatherhood, black brotherhood, all of that in a way that I hadn't really seen personally done, that much, or definitely not very often. So, I just really wanted to like be as transparent as possible and let people into what it a little inkling of what it's like to be, to be a to be a black man who's just
In a
trying to
mega
who's
church family.
trying to on top of that. But
Exactly.
really all of that is less important. It's just like this is just a man trying to figure it out, trying to find his place, find his voice, find his power, get to a place where he can be a God serving man and, be in a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship, serve his mother and father, and uplift his children and prepare himself um, to be a king. You know,
Hmm.
so we don't normally get to see the king in progress. Most people already want to
You
act like
just
they
see it when
already
it's
there,
done. Hmm.
and they done already. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to be transparent about showing the screw ups and the insecurity, and failure along the way. So I thought it was really important to take advantage of that opportunity with Jacob. So I'm happy, but I'm looking forward to what's next. So um,
Nice.
yeah, so this Love Wins movie, we'll love everybody to check that out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then
Where is it?
Albert Paul film, This Love Wins. All right, is the name of the movie, and
Uh-huh.
it's This Love Wins movie. All right, for more information about that.
Okay, we'll check it out.
And then Albert Paul film is
Mm-hmm.
another project. It's about Albert Einstein and Paul Robeson and their friendship.
Whoa.
Um, and then I'm also kind of working on something called Traces as well. So give you more information about that as we get forward. So okay,
I'm
yep,
gonna
there's Hope
check
popping
all
in
that.
at This Love Wins movie.
Yes,
All right,
shout out to Hope in the
that's right, at
building.
This Love Wins movie,
Thank you.
and at Albert Paul film.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank
I'm at
you.
Lamman Rucker official.
Yes, he is. I'll put it
All
down
right,
there so they can see you. Go follow him. Go follow us.
that's right.
We got 20
And Laura
seconds.
Miller and Sheen Magazine are
Yes,
in the
all of
building.
us. We all here. And Brazil
That's
is
right.
here, and Israel is here as well.
Yo, listen, shout out to Brazil, man. Like,
Okay.
I get so much love. And you know what I hear? I've been told many times, you look like you're Brazilian. So I
Yeah.
definitely have some shared lineage with my people in Brazil. But
Nice.
so yeah, man, I can't wait to get down there. Haven't had a chance to visit Brazil yet. So looking forward to that.
Yes. Well, thank
Yeah.
you
So I
again.
just thought UK,
Uh-oh.
Chicago,
We had
everybody's like
Atlanta.
representing.
We had
So yeah,
Atlanta in
here's your
earlier.
shout outs right here now, y'all.
Ghana. Oh,
All right.
yes. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Back in ATL, holla. Brazil.
Mm.
All right. Ghana's in the building.
Yes.
All right.
Please say only
Is
beautiful
is that
people.
Greece?
Oh, nice. No,
I
that's
think that was
Israel. That's Israel, I think.
that's okay. I only saw it was like
Yeah,
there's a
it's
part where it
very
gets like a
tiny.
little faded. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Philly, Miami. All right. Oh yeah, that was the okay. I see. I understand how that was the Israel flag. I see I can just the colors. All
I'm
right.
to
Uh-oh.
just
Was that just Dallas, Atlanta,
yes.
Louisiana? Look, everybody hopping
Harlem,
in.
Harlem World,
Baltimore,
Virginia,
VA,
DC,
right?
Pittsburgh. Yes.
Virginia. What up, nephew? Okay, it's my man Andre Perry, DC, Pittsburgh. What's good? That's my
Jersey
man.
girl by the
All
way,
right,
Florida.
Texas,
Hey
Jersey.
there.
Yeah,
Okay, you
we in
guys,
here.
we're gonna cut off.
Michigan. Yeah, worldwide, baby. That's what's up.
Talk
So
to you
thanks so much,
soon.
y'all.
Thank you,
All right, you
Lamont. We'll
got
be
it. My
right back in a
pleasure.
minute.
All right. All right.
Bye.
Take care.